The Kings of CALUKMUL. Sky Witness was a ruler of the Maya city and major cultural center of CALUKMUL, also known as Khan. He took the rulership prior to 561 AD and led Khan into a war with rival Maya city-state Tikal, also known as Metal, winning a major victory lasting for some decades. Karak Head, or Yuknum Head as he was known, was a king of the Khan kingdom, which was also known as the Snake Kingdom. He ruled from 630 to 636. The campaign to reassert Khan's hegemony over Naranjo after its defection following the death of faithful sublord A.J. Wozal Chan Kainich seems to have been initiated by Yuknum Head's predecessor Taju Makab Kayak. A probable sponsor of two Naranjo defeats by Snake client Khan II of Caracol, Taju Makab Kayak, himself was involved in what might have been a related warfare event in AD 627, but it was Yuknum Head who took direct and decisive action with the Star War, conquest of Naranjo in 631. The record of that victory is carved on Naranjo hieroglyphic stairway 1, calls Yuknum Head the Colonel Ajaw Tar Uxtatun, the Khan Lord at Uxtatun, this being the ancient place name of CALUKMUL. Previous Snake Kings were based elsewhere, perhaps at Jabanch, which features the earliest known use of the Khan dynasty emblem glyph. A second military success, against an unknown site, was achieved by Yuknum Head in 636. Scroll Serpent was a Maya ruler of the Khan kingdom who ruled from AD 579 to 611. Inscriptions at Palenque record two long-range attacks by Khan during the reign of this powerful king in the years following the eclipse of Tikal's power and the ascendancy of the Snake Kingdom. In the dry season of AD 599 and then again 611, his forces crossed the Usumacinta River and struck Likamha, the very center of Palenque. Scroll Serpent maintained an existing relationship by overseeing an action of Yajorti, Kainich II of Caracol at some point before 583. There are no Scroll Serpent monuments at CALUKMUL today. Scroll Serpent's celebration of the 9.8.0.0.0 Kayatan ending is recorded on both Stela 8 and Stela 33. Stela 33, erected by Yuknum the Great in 657, appears to combine the focus on Scroll Serpent with a statement of Yuknum the Great's birth in 600, suggesting that he was a son of Scroll Serpent. If so, the three rulers who intervened between Scroll Serpent and Yuknum the Great, Yuknum T, Chan, Taju Makab Kayak, and Yuknum Head, might also have been sons of Scroll Serpent. That Scroll Serpent erected no monuments of his own at CALUKMUL is suggested by the retrospective references to his activities by Yuknum Chin II and Yuknum Tuk, Kewil. Given that there are more likely to be accounts of the activities of previous rulers when their own accounts are not in evidence. An absence of Scroll Serpent's monuments at CALUKMUL is consistent with the hypothesis that the Khan dynasty was located elsewhere at this time, perhaps at Jabanch. During the reign of Scroll Serpent, Khan may have been sentryed at Jabanch. Scroll Serpent's wife was possibly Lady Scroll in Hand. Yuknum Chin II, known as Yuknum the Great, was a Maya ruler of the Khan kingdom born to Scroll Serpent and his wife, Lady Scroll in Hand. As he exceeded in AD 636 and his successor followed him upon the throne in 686, Yuknum the Great is known to have ruled the Khan kingdom for 50 years during the height of its power and ascendancy over Tikal. He took the name of the early classic king Yuknum Chin the first upon his accession. As Tikal was showing strong signs of recovering from the defeat of its king Wak Chan Kwil almost 100 years earlier. Yuknum exerted himself against Khan's great rival. He accomplished this in the context of a division in Tikal's dynastic line whereby both Balaj Chan Kwil of Dos Pilas and his probable brother or half-brother Nunajol Chak of Tikal came to style themselves Holy Lords of Metal. In 650 Balaj Chan Kwil was attacked and driven from his city, and he came to acknowledge the snake ruler as his overlord and ally in the factional dispute with Tikal. In 657 Yuknum Chin turned his attention to Tikal and vanquished it in Star War encounter. As a consequence of which Nunajol Chak must have pledged some form of fealty, because both he and Balaj Chan Kwil subsequently attended a ritual performed by CALUKMUL Prince Yuknum Yichak Kark. But then in 672 the Tikal king asserted his independence by ousting Balaj Chan Kwil from Dos Pilas and pursuing him as he sought refuge at other sites. CALUKMUL then intervened in 677 and dealt Nunajol Chak a second defeat, which was followed in 679 by a decisive vanquishment at the hands of Dos Pilas, certainly with CALUKMUL help. Naranjo had defected from its vassal status after the death of A.J. Wozal Chan Kainich and had been punished by the defeat of its 36th ruler, had recovered sufficiently for the 37th to attack Khan's client Caracol. Retribution followed swiftly, however, as the royal lineage of Naranjo was terminated within 2 years, ultimately to be replaced by the grandson of Balaj Chan Kwil. Yuknum Chin's subordinate status was recognized in inscriptions at a number of sites. He sponsored 3 generations of Kankuin rulers and oversaw the accessions of 2 of them in 656 and 677. And far to the west of CALUKMUL, the accession of a king and moral reformer in 662 took place under the auspices of Khan, an event apparently coordinated with an attack by Piedras Negras on moral reformer's neighbor Santa Elena that same year based on an inscription at Piedras Negras. An emissary of Yuknum Chin supervised the ritual at Piedras Negras in 685. Yuknum the Great was well into his 80s when he died, and it is likely that many of the successes of his later years were actually the achievements of his successor, Yuknum Yichak Kark. Relations with La Corona were enhanced when a daughter of Yuknum Chin married a lord of that site in 679. Jaguar Smoke, Yugnum Yichak Kark exceeded in his 36th year, but there are indications that he may have effectively governed the kingdom for a substantial period before this on behalf of the previous king, Yugnum the Great. The latter, who may have been Yugnum Yichak Kark's father, lived well into his 80s and may have been incapacitated in his later years. Yichak Kark's succession was recorded at El Peru by local ruler Kinich Balam and at Dos Pilas by Balaj Chan Kuil. At Naranjo, the son of Lady Six Sky, Kaktilu Chan Chak, exceeded in 693. In 695, CALUKMUL suffered a military defeat at the hands of Tikal, and it was believed that the king was killed or captured in that battle. A stucco scene at Tikal shows a prisoner being adorned for sacrifice and names the Khan king in a related caption. The text is damaged, and in its current condition it allowed for the possibility that it referred to Yichak Kark himself instead of him being the overlord of the prisoner to be killed. A new find at La Corona has revealed that the king survived at least until 696, when he made a visit to that town. There are reasons to believe that Yichak Kark is buried in Tomb 4 within CALUKMUL's structure too.